Welcome to Click AI Radio, where you'll learn the secrets to transforming your small to medium business. Grant has been helping businesses transform using technology for over 30 years. Advanced technologies like artificial intelligence have been available only to large companies and advanced technical teams. Grant will discuss how you can use to leverage AI and other technologies to grow your small to medium business. As a gift, Grant is offering his ebook, AI for Sales Growth, at clickairadio.com. Now, here's your host and biz tech geek, Grant Larson.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining. This is Grant. Okay, so I have an opportunity to talk with quite a few small to medium, as well as large actually, business owners. Last week I was talking with a small business owner. I think he's got about 5 people in his company. And he made a statement. We were talking about the current context around COVID and the impact of small to medium businesses. And he said, hey, basically I'm working twice as hard and earning half as much in the current context with COVID. It made me think about all of the things that it takes to become a successful business owner, a successful entrepreneur, especially during COVID, right? Is there a set of things that are most meaningful? I started looking at different polls, what different research groups had talked about this. One I found was on Inc.com. They had done this research where they had found that, hey, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to do more. And in fact, you got a disadvantage against you, right? The cards are a bit stacked against you because your larger competitor likely has more resources, focusing on the same task as you. So one of the things you got to do is actually put more effort in if you want to succeed as a small to medium business owner. So they came up with this list of items. And the first one they said was, hey, quit talking about plans so much and just focus more on getting things done. And that's true. You see a lot of just talk about, hey, let's just go do something rather than actually getting stuff accomplished. The other is stop being busy. And the thing about the busyness is, yes, I might go do some work and it looks like I'm accomplishing things, but if I change my focus to outcome based, right? I'm looking at what are the effects or the results of my activity. It's not the busyness that wins the award, but rather the outcomes of that. The third thing they mentioned was be available, especially around the customers, right? Be really available. It's certainly available to your teammates and, of course, to customers as well. The fourth thing they said that was really helpful for being successful as a small to medium business owner was one more rep, right? That's kind of got a workout sort of mentality, right? You're lifting weights and you just want one more rep, but mentally you got to be strong enough to say, I got to go through one more effort, one more iteration until I'm really satisfied with the quality and what it is we're producing. Another was go to sleep with a plan and wake up with a purpose. I love the way they said that. In particular, what they're saying is try not to go to bed without having some form of a plan for the next day. That way, then when you wake up, you end up having a little more organization and structure to your thoughts as you move forward in the day. I love the saying that says, an ounce of morning is worth a pound of afternoon. And so, boy, if you can wake up feeling like you have some planned purpose already, then those fresh energies and that high mental acuity in the morning can really be beneficial for us as a small and medium business owner. Create a winning routine was the next thing they pointed out. Recently I was listening to one of those interviews of Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. And interestingly, he was talking about his morning routine, which is rather slow paced. I think the word he used was putter. He likes to putter around. And he takes opportunity for him to just have unstructured time where he can do some free thinking. Whatever your routine is, come up with that, find that routine, and then stick with that. The last thing this particular research pointed out was follow every setback with good, with the word good. This one was interesting. It was basically, how do you take something that's negative or bad, but try to turn it into a positive statement? Because there'll be plenty of negative things, no doubt. So for example, let's say if I'm tired and if it's time for a workout, how do I translate that into something good? Well, the way they suggest it is, hey, good, if I could say it, good, let's work out because I'm tired. I actually think this came from Jocko, who is a Navy SEAL who turned author and podcaster. That's where that tip actually comes from. Sounds like a Navy SEAL, right? Boy, talk about being mentally tough for sure. All right, so as I continued my search, was I thinking about the conversation I had with that small business owner where he said he's working twice as hard and getting half as much. I looked into another group, and this was on score.org. They were talking about how hard small business owners have to work, right? So the first thing in terms of how do we be successful, come up with a good routine, come up with, how to change our mental model when something bad happens, go to bed with a plan, be available, focus on outcomes and so forth. In this second piece, they had some interesting things around. You've just got to be able to work hard and decide to work hard as a small business owner. In fact, in one report, one survey that they'd found out of the New York Enterprise Report said that business owners ended up working twice as much as regular employees, which is kind of interesting because lots of times we equate coming into our own small business as here's our step to freedom. When in fact, sometimes what we're not maybe mentally prepared for is, hey, I'm going to be working a heck of a lot more. Certainly that's not news to anyone, but mentally we have to step up to it and own that when we decide, hey, I'm going to go do my own business. In fact, found that one Gallup poll found that 39% of business owners worked over 60 hours a week. Obviously, as we talked about earlier, it's not just about the hours, but the effectiveness of them. Just being busy isn't necessarily, right, the indication of success, of course. But they did talk about how important it is to find work-life balance in that. 44%, it said, of small business owners take 16 vacation days or more each year. And then 26% took 11 to 15 days of vacation each year. Well, that's certainly good to know that even the small business owners are able to do that. That's promising news, no doubt. But despite all that, lots of times when you hear about millennials, people will really give them sort of negative connotation, right? We'll say, hey, millennials are slackers. But it turns out that almost 90% in a Bentley University study, 90% almost, it was 89%, that were millennials, said that they regularly check into their work after work hours, right? Which that's an amazing study. And so it turns out the good news is millennials, you're cut out to be business owners, right? You're figuring out, hey, you can take time off, but you also know that you got to come in and put in that extra effort as well. So not to belabor that, but I do think that if you can find that balance, right, between how to work hard and how to have some time off so you can mentally and emotionally refresh, that's a critical juncture, critical capability. In fact, as I was looking into it, I reviewed this study from this guy by the name of Dr. Michael Gershon. He's the author of a book called The Second Brain. And he's the chairman of the Department of Anatomy and Cell Biology. That's a big long title at Columbia University. I thought he proposed a very interesting question. He said, what would happen if everyone in the world got twice as smart? You see, because everything so far that I've been talking about is, well, we got to work harder. Obviously, we got to work smart too. Certainly, we need to improve our efficiency in our work, etc. But we got to work smarter as well. So one of the things that he suggested here, just reading off a few of his items, he said, look, eat a plant-based diet. Veggies are really good for you. The other was do focusing exercises, cut out sugar, meditate at least 20 minutes a day, trust your gut when you make a decision. In fact, he goes so far as to say, view your body and your mind as a whole system, which makes sense. All right, so here's what we've talked about. Look, if we're going to be successful as small business owners during COVID and even after, but certainly it's more important now than ever, got to work hard and got to work smart. And as part of that, find work-life balance. Figure out your winning routine, as Bezos and others point out, right? Follow every setback up with, hey, turn it into a good statement. Go to sleep with a plan. One more rep, you can do it. Be available. Stop being busy and rather focus on outcomes and quit talking about planning so much. Just go get the results. Well, one of the things that always comes to the top of my mind, given that my focus here is in technology as well, I also think that working smart means to automate the pieces that we can. We want to, of course, leverage the assets that are available to us. And some of those assets are our information, right? It's our data. It's what are the secret things that are hiding inside of our data that can, of course, expose that, right? So tell us, here's the insights, the things we can go improve on in our business. The funny thing about the AI stuff is that when you apply it, you have to continue to go back and apply it again and again. In other words, when you go apply AI and it gives you some insights in your business, then you go make changes to improve yourself, working to be more efficient with the resources and the assets that you have. A few months later, you should just go do a quick another run on it. See how the world has changed, how your world has changed because you've applied it. So it's a combination of multiple things we need to do when we're going to go run our businesses, augmenting all that with let's leverage technology the right way. Hey, my name's Grant. Thanks for joining, and until next time, live right.
Thank you for joining Grant on Click AI Radio. Don't forget to subscribe and leave feedback. And remember to download your free ebook. Visit clickairadio.com now.